Hi again. So let me give you an example of the application of big medicine with one of my clients. A few weeks ago, I consulted with a woman who was fighting a recurrence of breast cancer. Despite feeling sick, she still had many reasons to live and projects to complete. She feared death was looming around the corner. In our work, she was able to face death as it was sneaking in, reminding her to be attentive to the sound of the birds and the warmth of the sunlight. I actually asked her to role play or play act the role of death as it was sneaking in and threatening her, and she really embodied that. And in that role, she called herself to be mindful of the sunlight and the birds and the experiences she had. We happened to be in Israel at an international conference where we were surrounded by groves of citrus trees. I helped her identify with the essence of the orange trees and their particular scent. She embodied a tree and expressed its expansive and vibrant energy as well as its warmth. In unfolding her experience, death became an ally that helped her rediscover a forgotten quality of her own nature. So in contrast, from a small health perspective, breast cancer is a biological malfunction that throws the afflicted off the path of health, and for some, ultimately life. Bell curve health is like a means of transportation along the meandering road of life. Diseases are roadblocks, boulders, potholes, and other obstacles that challenge our forward movement. So here I'm just using a metaphor that I think really explains the difference between small health and big health. So some people are given a truck, motorbike, bicycle, four-wheel drive, or luxury automobile to tackle the journey, while others have the privilege of traveling less hazardous roads. By this I mean that we think that sometimes different people have different constitutions, different genetic backgrounds that make them stronger or more vulnerable to disease. And the other thing is that some people are just more lucky and don't encounter too many health challenges. But in contrast, in big health, health is the whole journey. It is not only the mechanical vehicle that carries us, but the entirety of the expedition and discovery. Diseases are intrinsic features of the landscape along the way. Breast cancer and the fear of death transform from being threats into reminders of our own intrinsic participation in the panorama of nature and life. In a bell curve world, we travel through life as tourists, hoping to encounter the fewest obstacles possible and to travel outside of the most foreign and dangerous terrain. Injuries, insults, and malfunctions are distractions and challenges, and we seek the help of mechanics to regain free and undisturbed passage. We bypass other less fortunate tourists who are stranded, looking away to avoid being reminded of our own risks along the journey. In a bell curve paradigm, we marginalize illness and the ill. But in a big health paradigm, we all inhabit the same world and participate in its creation. Deaths, diseases, injuries, and disabilities are specific characteristics of the natural world we are all discovering together. From this perspective, my client was not only suffering from breast cancer and the fear of possibly imminent death, but rediscovering that she was the orange tree with its enchanting, warm and vibrant scent. We want the mechanics of bell curve health to help us identify and treat our body's malfunctions, but our quest for big health and meaning does not depend on health. The bell curve model of health and its glitches are rooted in the body and its physiological mechanism. Big health hinges on the body and its functioning, but is not determined by it. And so this is really important, that in a way, in big medicine and big health, health is the whole journey. It's the whole experience, be it in an experience of sickness or in an experience of health. And in the beginning, I also mentioned the cultural and social aspects of health. And this is another important piece of big medicine that I want to emphasize here now at the end as well, because we all are impacted by how we treat each other in our communities. And many of you understand this and know that these aspects of our communities marginalize some and help people to be more central. And this experience of centrality and marginalization has a huge impact on our bodies and health. And to the degree that some who are more marginalized die sometimes 20 years sooner than people who live more centrally. And this on a statistical basis. So it has a huge impact. And so that is an important piece of big medicine as well. And to finish, let me just read the last paragraph that describes this and refers back to the analogy of the journey and the road trip metaphor. Returning to the road trip metaphor from chapter 3, we are not mere life tourists attempting to drive away from the dangers of disease and injury. We are participants in the co-creation of our journey towards health. As co-creators, we also have a collective impact on the health journeys of others. Our social contracts, including the distribution of wealth, affect the health of marginalized and privileged individuals and communities. These systems sculpt the terrain that marginalized people travel. As a society, we don't just give some of us less robust means of transportation for navigating life. We bar some entirely from access to health mechanics. We sabotage their cars and throw nails into their paths. Big medicine for individuals explores how human beings deal with health, medical intervention, illness and death. Big medicine for groups and organizations examines the social, economic and cultural contexts of health, illness and healthcare. Thank you very much. Here again, this is my new book, Big Medicine. If you're interested, it's going to come out September 1st. You can order it or pre-order it on Amazon. And if you ever are inclined to do so, please give me a review and send me feedback. Thank you very much.